This is project 25 of Hacking with Swift. We're going to look over again collection views, image pickers, and Grand Central Dispatch, but at the same time introduce you to a new technology called the Multipeer connectivity framework. This lets users create impromptu connections to each other and send data, a bit like BitTorrent. For more information, see the website hackingwithswift.com. There you can buy this video and all videos in high resolution, or download them as ebooks for just $3 per project. It's super cheap, and your support does help me make more videos. It's very much appreciated. I'm also on Twitter at 2straws. If you have questions, comments, feedback, who knows what, get in touch. Follow me there. I'll do my very best to help you. So let's go. Go ahead and launch Xcode. Choose Create a New Project. Choose Single View Application under iOS Application. Name it something sensible. I'll choose Project 25. I'll suggest you choose iPhone for your device. Then press Next. And create it somewhere. Okay. So we've already used some things from this already. It's not too surprising. We need to use importing photos, which is a UI image picker controller. We used it in Project 10 and again in 13, so you should be totally comfortable with it. We use collection views in Project 10, but you haven't used it since then, so it's been a good 15 projects since then, so you may have forgotten bits about it. That's okay. So let's go ahead and make our basic UI, and it's mostly a collection view because this app is going to let users connect their devices very quickly and send photos to each other. It's called Selfie Share. It's like Facebook, just directly. So we'll go to main.storyboard. And I'll just look for a collection view in here. Remember, not a collection view controller, but a collection view. I'm going to actually embed this whole thing inside a navigation controller because it looks much better. So embed in navigation controller, rearrange it. Thank you, interface builder. There we go. And then drag a collection view in. Let it fill the full screen. Snap it to the center vertically and horizontally, and let go. Now what we're going to do is modify this thing so it's got a default prototype cell of 145 by 145. So in the sizing attribute inspector, change cell width from 50 to be 145 and height 145, like that. We want to give all 4 section insets here, these things, a value of 10. So 10, 10, 10, 10, like that. Now we want to name this prototype cell, this thing here, give it a reuse identifier in the properties inspector here, attributes inspector, sorry. Identifier, we'll just call it image view, like that. Nothing special. That lets us yoink out the identifier very easily. And now we want to drop in an image view into there so we can actually add images as they're posted via the Multipeer connectivity framework. So look for image, type it in and drag it into there. We're not going to bother creating a custom class. I've shown you how that works already. For now, we'll take the easy cheaty route, which is just to set a tag on that thing. So select the image view, look for tag, give it a number. I'll choose 1000. The number we know means that image view. All the constraints in this project, because it's obviously very simple, can be resolved automatically. So just go to the editor menu, choose resolve auto layer issues. And then, best let the view first, didn't I? That view. Resolve auto layer issues, and then choose add missing constraints. And boom, it'll just fill them all out for us automatically. Nothing too surprising there. It adds, maximum sizing for the image view inside the collection view as well. That's perfectly fine, no problems with that. So that's most of our layout done. We do need to make our view controller the delegate and data source of the collection view. So control drag from the collection view up to view controller, and choose delegate. Then again, and choose data source all the way around as I did there. Now use the assistant editor here to create an outlet for it. So I'll control drag from collection view to the code, then choose a name, which will be just collection view because it's a very simple project. Boom, connect. Now back to standard editor again and go to viewcontroller.swift. We are finished with the UI. It's now all about code. Please note, nearly all of this has been covered in other projects, so I'm not going to hang around talking about what it's doing or explaining what it does when there are far more interesting things to come. So I'm going to whiz through this super fast, and if you don't know what it does, that means you skipped over an earlier project. You are very naughty. Go back, do not pass go, try again. So in view did load, we're going to say give it a title, which is just selfie share. That's an easy and cool name. Navigation item dot right bar button item equals UI bar button item. I'll give it the system item dot camera. I want to import from the picture library. For target self action was use import picture like that. Then let's make the collection view work correctly. You should do this the easy way, which is to make your class conform to the protocols UI collection view data source and UI collection view delegate. So just put in comma UI collection view data source and UI collection view delegate like that. Boom, and it'll start whinging till you fill them all in. We can do that shortly. It's not too hard to do. We also need to add in, if you remember, the protocols to handle image pickers. We'll have to do that now while we're here. So we need UI navigation control delegate and also UI image picker delegate. Pick control delegate like that, sorry. So lots of delegates in there. So we conform to lots of protocols now. So, you know, it's going to have a real meltdown because we're conforming to none of them really. We're just saying we are. We'll put that together in a second. First things first though, we need an array. We'll store the images we've imported from the image picker. So we'll say var images equals UI image. That is an array of UI images. And then let's add our collection view method. So the first one is how many items are in our collection view. This is quite straightforward. So collection view, look for number of items. There it is. And we're just going to return images. Images.count. So however many images we have right now. Straightforward enough. Next up, we want to use the cell for item index path to pull out the right thing from our array and show it in. You remember I used a shortcut. I didn't configure the cells with a custom class. I just gave it the identify image view and then the tag 1000. So we can just pull it out like that. It's much simpler. So again, we'll look down here and do collection view. And then we'll look for cell for item index path. There it is. Boom. So the code should be, let's pull a cell out, so we'll do let cell equals collection view dot dq reusable cell with reuse identifier, and we use identifier image view, I believe. Index path, pass an index path, and we can typecast that as UI collection view cell. Boom. Then we'll pull out the image view by saying let image view, like that, if let image view equals cell dot view with tag, pull out the tag numbered 1000, optionally as UI image view, but we know it is really. We'll do image view dot image equals images index path dot item. This is old boring stuff, and then return that cell at the end. Boom. So that configures the cell. But we still need some more methods here to get our app working correctly. Specifically, the import picture method that's being called by UI bar button item here, and also the two to handle the UI image picker controller when they finish picking an image and also hit cancel. None of this is required, but we'll put it in. So first up, import picture. This needs to do func import picture. Oops, import picture like that. Create one. Let picker equals UI image picker controller. Picker controller like that. There we go. Picker.allows editing, of course, equals true. Picker.delegate equals self. That will not error because we're already saying we'll conform to it, even though we aren't just yet. We are really because they're all optional. And then present it. Present picker animated true, completion nil. Right, that's all old. Again, more old code. We want to look at image picker. We want to choose did finish picking media with info. That one there. This is again all old code. So var new image is a UI image. Then let's say if let possible image equals info, and the key is UI image picker controller edited image like that. Optional typecast is UI image. Then UI image new image equals possible image. Else if let possible image image equals info. UI image picker controller original image. You can just copy and paste this from the previous projects. Much easier. I'm going to do it all here for just in case you did miss it out and you're being brave. As UI image new, oops daisy, I have a slight typo. There we go. New image equals possible image. Else I've also made a massive typo somewhere here. I'll come back to it in a second. Else return. Just get out of the method entirely. Oops. Oh no. Return like that. Boom. Now, where have I made my obvious typo. There it is. Boom. That is a missing brace. Silly me. That finishes that block there. Then we just call dismiss view controller animated true, which is always nice. Completion nil. We're going to insert the image into our array. So we'll do images dot insert new image at index 0. We use the same thing when doing the anagrams game early on. Let's make sure that new images come to the front automatically, and call reload data on our collection view. Easiest way of saying something's changed, just reload. That finished that method, straightforward enough. And finally, image picker controller did cancel. Just get rid of it. Dismiss view controller animated true, completion nil. That's it. That is it. That is all the old boring code you know already. We've done it before. I've talked you through it all before. Hopefully you bought the books and read the detailed explanation. It's all old code. You can run the thing now if you want to, if you are particularly bored. I'm going to choose a simulator, for example, and say run on my 5S. And we'll launch it. There we go. Brilliant collection view. Press add. Do you want to allow it? Yes, I do. Choose, what do I call him? Leafy, whatever his name was. Choose, and there he is. So I can import more. Perfect. You can see now why it's 145 by 145. It's the exact size for a 5S. Anyway, that is just a cut down version of Project 10 so far. This is old. The interesting stuff is from here on in, because we're going to use a multi-peer connectivity framework. So we're going to start by adding a left bar button item to our view controller using the add system icon, and it will call a new method called show connection prompt, which will ask the user how they want to connect to other users. So let's start with that. Let's go up to view to load and do navigation item dot left bar button item equals UI bar button item with system item dot add. Target is self. Then action should be show connection prompt like that. Boom. I'm going to make this method somewhere down here, make some space for it, and do func that thing, copy and paste. This is going to show an alert controller saying how do you want to connect to other people. So we'll do let AC equals UI alert controller with title, and the title is connect to others. Message can be nil, there's no message really. Preferred style is action sheet. Remember, we use our action sheets to show options for you to select that go beyond their current choice. So add, how do you want to add? Whereas alerts are usually for something's changed, what do you want to do? We'll add some actions. So we'll say add action, UI alert action. And the title is host a session. They want to create a new session themselves. Host a session, boom. Style is default. Handler is start hosting. We'll write this shortly. Start hosting. Then AC add action again. UI alert action. We want to say title is join a session for existing sessions. This is default. And then the handler is going to be join session. Again, it will be written shortly. Finally, AC add action. UI alert action. Title is cancel, style is .cancel, handler is nil, go away. And present that view controller, present AC, animated true, completion nil. Okay, so that bit wasn't new. Now, it's time for the multi-peer connectivity framework, and this needs to introduce 4 new classes for you. MC Session is the manager class that handles all multi-peer connectivity for a given connection session. An MC Peer ID identifies each user uniquely inside a session. MC Advertiser Assistant is used when creating a session. It tells others, hey, we're here, do you want to connect to us? And MC Browser View Controller is used when joining sessions. It shows users who are nearby and lets them join easily. These 4 classes do a huge amount of work for you. We're going to use all 4 of them in our app, but only 3 need to be properties, realistically. In fact, not even that. You could just recycle them slightly, but it's fine. Properties, top, below images. We want to do, in fact, let's first import the framework because it won't work otherwise. Import multi-peer connectivity, like that. So we need to create a property for our peer ID, a property for our session. So that's the thing that you create once and it connects and stays connected the entire time, and then a property for our advertisers so we can see what's going on. First up, the peer ID. So we'll say var peer ID is an MC peer ID implicit unwrapped. Then var MC session is an MC session, implicit unwrap, and var MC advertiser assistant, like that, is an MC advertiser assistant. Boom. So these three will store the key information we need to get going and working in our thing. So depending on what they choose in our alert controller, we'll either call start hosting or join session. Both of these, of course, are coming from a UI alert action, so they must accept a UI alert action as their only parameter. It's now time to actually write it. So what happens is let's just write the code and see what happens. You'll figure it out. In view did load, in here, we're going to create our peer ID. Now, peer ID should be unique to every user, so you can see who is who. The easiest option here, nearly every time, is to use the name of the current device. And my device is called, as you'll see, Jules from the game Cannon Fodder. And everyone else's device has a different name, ideally, you know, Paul's iPhone or something. Not very unique, but there you go. You can use that, and that's good enough to sort of see who's who. And that's very common on things like AirDrop. You'll see someone's phone name or their contact in your address book being listed, even though it isn't fully unique. So we'll say our peer ID equals MC peer ID, and it takes a display name in its initializer. And we'll just say UI device dot current device dot name. So it'll be like Paul's iPhone or Jules for me. Then we'll create a session, regardless of whether what they choose here for the alert controller. We must create a session. So we'll do that in view did load. We'll say MC session, and that one equals MC session. And it takes a few parameters. It wants a peer ID. It wants a security identity. It wants an encryption preference. First one is our peer ID, easy. Identity, just nil, we don't care. Preference for encryption is .required. So have iOS encrypt automatically the connection between people to keep it safe. Not that we're transferring very important data, but it's just nice to have, right? Then we'll make ourselves the delegate of the session. Now, that triggers errors, unsurprisingly, because we are not an MC session delegate. Of course, we'll come back to that shortly. There are a few of them, and they're not very straightforward, so that's okay. I'll come back to it in a second. We'll create this start hosting method. So we'll say func start hosting. Remember it, hosting even. It comes from a UI alert action, so it must have an action, UI alert action being passed in, like that. So when you want to host, we're going to use the advertiser assistant. So we'll say MC advertiser assistant equals MC advertiser assistant, like that. It wants a service type as well as discovery info and a session to attach to. Now, service type has a particular style that it must be specified as, and it's usually a few unique letters that match your company, and then the name of the service attached to that program. You haven't got much to work with. I think you've got, like, 15 or 16 characters to work with, and they have to be alphanumeric. In fact, I think it's exactly 15. They must be alphanumeric, so A to Z, numbers and hyphens, and you want to include your company name in there somehow. Now, Apple's example is a text chat app made by ABC Company would use ABC-TXT chat. It just identifies your name uniquely, so it doesn't clash with other apps. That's all it's there for. Now, we're going to use, in this case, this is hacking with Swift, so I will use HWS-project25. That identifies me uniquely, and then inside me, my protocol, my individual service inside the company. Discovery info is nil. We don't care any special info being passed around. And session, of course, is our MC session object, like that. So that creates the advertiser, and we can now say, please start, like that. So just say, it's cool, start on that thing. And that, all it does is start sending out across Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, hey, this thing exists, do you want to connect to it? And anyone else with the same service type who's trying to join will start seeing it. Let's do that now. Let's do func join session action, UI alert action again, because it's coming from a UI alert action. We'll make a browser this time because we're joining. We want to do MC browser equals MC browser view controller, service type, the same thing. So HWS-project25. Session is MC session. That's it. We just now say MC browser dot delegate is us, and then present it. MC browser, and with the true, completion nil. So this thing is what shows actual user interface, hence why it's called a view controller, saying here are the available sessions that match this service type, which one do you want to join, and then it'll tell us when something interesting has happened. So we're making our view controller the delegate of something else. So we've got up here as the MC sessions delegate, error because we're not conforming, and again down here is a browser delegate, error, not conforming. So we need to add ourselves to be delegate of those things. So along here we're adding tons of delegates in this project. It's really fun. MC session delegate and MC browser view controller delegate, like that. So we've now got, how many? We've got tons of delegates now. Fantastic. And now there are tons more errors. If you look in here, it's just don't conform to any of these things. You know, there's literally how many now? 7 things we need to add to make ourselves successfully conform to all these protocols. All right, so let's do that now. Helpfully, there are, of those many things to conform to, we can ignore completely several. We can skip by a few and simplify and focus on the ones that matter. So we have 2 total things it wants to implement. We can basically ignore 3 of them. We have to implement them, but they do nothing we care about. 2 more are completely trivial, and 1 further one is just for diagnostic information, in this project at least. You can use it in your own stuff, but for now it's just for diagnostics. And that leaves 1 method that's non-trivial and important. The rest we can basically ignore. So I'll tackle them now, get them out of the way, and we'll focus on the one that actually matters. You can't ignore them clearly because you must implement them. They are required, but we can just whiz through them very simply. Go to the bottom. Get ready to use code completion because it does make your life so much easier. Scroll to the bottom and look for session. You're looking for did receive stream. This one. Hit enter to complete it. Delete the filler code thing. That's it. That is done. We were ignoring that method entirely. Again, next one, session. Look for did start receiving resource with name. Enter to complete it. Delete where it says this code thing. Delete it. Leave it empty. Move on. Next up, session. You'll see did finish receiving resource with name. Again, find the code, hit delete. It's now an empty method. And that's it. They're both huge, complicated names of methods here. We don't actually need them. We're not using them at all in this project. So it makes our life much easier. The next one is trivial. Is the MC browser view controller. When it finished, just dismiss it. So we can look for browser view controller did finish, and just put in there dismiss view controller animated true nil, like that. Boom. Just get rid of it. Equally, there's another one called browser view controller was cancelled, and again dismiss view controller animated true completion nil. Boom. This shows you how easy it is to be a coder, right? So there are 2 methods left. That's 5 of the 7. There are 2 left. One of which is used in this project just for diagnostic information. It is actually useful, but not in this project. You can use it in your own stuff. And that is what happens when the state of a peer changes. Did someone connect? Did someone depart? Is someone connecting? And all we're going to do at this point is use it for diagnostic information to show what's happening in the log here, so we can kind of see what's going on and debug our code more easily. So this is called when a peer state has changed. So you want to type in session, and you want to look for peer ID, this one, did change state. And you get state through MC session state, right click, jump to definition. You will see it's got not connected, connecting, or connected. So we'll replace that with a switch case, and we'll do switch state, like that. And all we'll do is just print out what happened, because it's very simple. We'll say case.connected, like that. We'll do println connected, and then we'll use string interpolation to do peer ID dot display name to find out who it was that connected, like that. Then oops, there we go. Then we'll do connecting, Again, copy and paste, connecting, and then finally not connected. Not connected. Not connected. Boom. That finishes that method. That was also very simple. And this is just so we can see what's going on, because otherwise it wouldn't say. Now, obviously in your own stuff, you want to say, hey, your best pal is connected. What do you want to do? But here, it's perfectly fine. We're just going to stick it to the debug log, and you can do your own work later. That leaves one more method that must be implemented before you're fully compliant with the protocols. But it is important how it works, because we're going to add some code to did finish picking media with info, so that when an image is added by the user, it also gets sent out to peers. Now, sending images across a network like this using the multi-peer connection is extremely easy. You already met the UI image JPEG representation function in Project 10. That's how we save pictures to disk. And that converts a UI image to an NS data that can be saved to disk. Well, MC session objects, like we have already, have a send data method that will ensure data gets transmitted over the wire reliably to the other peers in your connection. It's that simple. We just get a callback saying, did receive data from peer, at which point we can create a UI image from it, stick it in our array, and then use it. But there is one catch. When you do it like this, when you use data being sent across the network, of course it's not blocking. It'll be running its own thread, downloading the data, and the did receive data method could be called on any thread. That means you cannot just change the user interface. It's not safe to change the user interface. You must use GCD to push the work back onto the main thread to do work like that. So here is the final method we need to do to make our thing fully conform to the protocols. We'll do session, and this time we're looking for did receive data, this one. This is a full and complete NS data object that represents our pictures being sent across the wire. So first we'll unwrap it. We'll say if let image equals UI image using data, UI image lowercase m, image using data, we'll just pass in data like that. If we've successfully made a UI image out of this thing, then push the work back to the main thread. Dispatch async, then dispatch get main queue, like that. And the work is unowned self in, because it's a closure. We'll do self.images.insert image at index 0, then self.collectionView.reload data, like that. Then end our closure, like that. And now the build succeeds. We've filled in all 7 delegate protocol methods required to make our thing fully conform to the vast number of protocols we're working with right now. And this now successfully receives data on a background thread, built an image out of it. If it works, pushes it back to the main thread using a safe closure, and then executes any code to load it in the collection view. Next up, because we're not finished just yet, the final code we need to do is firstly check if there are any peers to send to when we import an image ourselves, convert the image to a NS data object, send it to all the peers, ensuring it gets delivered properly, fully, and intact, because of course networks are a bit flaky, and finally show an error message if there's a problem. So all that code, you want to put this into your did finish picking media with info method, which is up here, this thing. So we load it into our own collection view here. After that, we want to check whether they have any peers to work with, send it reliably, or have to convert to a ping first, a PNG first, send it reliably, and then show an error if there's a problem. This is all very easy to do. We can say if MC session dot connected peers dot count is greater than 0, we have at least one peer to work with. So we're going to say let image data equals UI image ping representation of new image. That's what we're setting up here from our image picker controller. Then we're going to use fully and properly this time NS error. We'll say var error is an NS error maybe. We don't know if the error is going to happen or not. We'll say MC session dot send data. This takes a few parameters. First up, what to send? Well, we want to send image data. Fine, that was easy enough. 2 peers. Who do you want to send it to? Well, everyone. So you can actually say MC session dot connected peers. So everyone connected to us right now. With mode, how do you want to send it? Do you want to send it unreliable or reliable? With reliable, it ensures the data gets there intact and in order and correct, or not at all. So you can do .reliable. If you're wondering, there is a point to not reliable. It's not. You're thinking, why do you ever want data to not arrive? If you imagine you're watching a live video stream of every frame of the video is coming down, 25 or 30 frames a second, even 60 on some channels. If you miss one, or even miss 10, or even miss 100, that's like 4 seconds worth. Do you want to stop and say, don't give me the more data, send me those ones again, send me them all again, I want them all again, those ones I missed until I get the right ones? The chances are you don't. You want to see what's happening right now, what happened 4 seconds ago. So unreliable is very, very good for things like streams of video and audio, where if things do get lost, you don't care, just get onto the latest stuff. And for error, this is new, I want you to write ampersand, so shift 7 for me, error. What that means, we've got an error object here, this NS error, and we're passing it in here. If I take that ampersand away, it won't work anymore. And the reason is, as Swift will warn you, thanks Swift. That's a useless Swift error message. it totally gets it wrong. It means we're passing it in here for Swift to change for us, to change it in line. This will become an error if it happened or not. We're not passing it into as data to work with. We're saying put any errors into there. What a lovely error message that wasn't. Anyway, if this does not work, if this fails for some reason, error will not be nil. Because by default it's nil, it's empty right now, so it's optional. So we can say if error is not nil, something bad happened. Now what that bad is going to be, we don't know, but NS error does. That's kind of the point of NS error. NS error contains information we can use. So if error came back bad, so if this method call here filled error with an actual error message, we can say let AC equals UI alert controller with the title send error, and message, we're going to write error force unwrap, because we know it's definitely not nil now, dot localized description, which is whatever the error message should mean in the person's local language. Preferred style is dot alert, something's gone wrong, a state's changed, show them. AC.add action UI alert action with title OK, style default, and handler nil. Just get rid of the thing basically, and then present view controller. AC animated true, completion nil. So if this thing fails to send reliably to our peers, put that into the error message, into this thing here. If it's not nil, if actually errors happened, just find out what the text means in French or Swahili or whatever language they're reading, and show it on the screen so they can figure it out very easily. And that ensures the data sent intact to all peers without any parts being lost in the internet somewhere. It's just using .reliable. That does all the hard work for us, and that really shows how amazingly easy the Multipeer framework is. All we have to do is hook up the bits together. It does most of the work for us. So the advertiser takes care of telling the world we're looking for connections. The browser takes care of finding compatible sessions. The sessions takes care of sending and receiving data. It does all the work for us. It's just our job to put it together and add some error checking here and there. And that finishes the project. Now I think what I haven't done yet is run it. And that's because running this is tricksy, because it's designed to work with 2 devices, right? You need 2 devices working at the same time. So what I've done is I've got my phone here running Project 25 from earlier, and there's actually Project 22 on here as well, which is the iBeacon one still on there. So 25 is our current project, and I ran this using a previous version of the code, so I know it's going to work, hopefully. I'm going to go ahead and run this project now on my simulator, because this Multipeer does work with a simulator very nicely. Here it is running simulator, and here it is running on my phone. Okay, I made a few stylistic changes. One's black, one's white, but it's the same application. On my simulator, I'm going to press the plus button, and I'll choose host a session. That's it. Behind the scenes, it's fired up the advertiser assistant, and it's sending out a signal saying, hey, you can connect to me. On my phone, I'll press plus and press join, at which point the browser thing kicks in and it's saying, hey, look, I found iPhone simulator. Do you want to connect to that? I'll press on that one. It'll have a good think about it. On this screen here, my simulator, it says Jules wants to connect. Do you want to accept it? I do accept. And here's our debug state thing we wrote earlier, that big switch case. Where is that? Here it is, printing out that Jules is connected. So I can now press done on Jules. I'm connected. I'm going to now in Selfie share my simulator, choose Leafy, press choose. There it is on there, and boom, there it is on Jules. So it's pulled it in straight away. Okay, another slight change. I must have changed the image view in my copy to be aspect fit rather than stretch. That's an easy change to do. In the storyboard, just select the image view and change from scale to fill to be aspect fit. Much nicer. Anyway, for more information, do check out the website, hackingwithswift.com. You can there buy the video for this in high resolution or buy it as an ebook with lots more information. The books start at just $3 per project. They're super cheap. Please do check them out. Your support is hugely appreciated to make more videos like this one. You can also find me on Twitter. I am at 2straws. If you have questions, suggestions, get in touch, let me know. I'd love to hear from you.